Let me bring in Mr. George. Good morning, Mr. George, our first caller today.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and greetings to your guests.
Thank you.
Uncle Yori, I personally believe that there were big gains in the president's recent trips. If you recall, more than 100 countries, attended his inauguration, and everybody was eager to do business with Nigeria. The meeting he went for, you could see the body language of two powerful countries in that G20. This is the fourth time I'm seeing such countries taking our president serious. And when they are talking to him, they know that this is somebody that can be respected. So what I want to counsel my fellow countrymen is that we should be positive in our approach. There is no government action that happens without firstly being pronounced. If pronouncements had not worked in the past, it doesn't mean that it cannot work now. This is a different government. Because to be skeptical about what we can gain from such trips is like being defeatist. Look at the situation of the past. People who we regarded as our financial experts in central bank, for example, and in the financial system, what is happening today? You see the rot that is being discovered in CBN and all that are connected with that. We cannot remain in that mode forever. Let us believe that something can work in the first place before anything can actually work. I believe that with the recent trip, it is not, Uncle Yori, it's not right to presume that the Minister of Aviation went to Dubai without being briefed about what had happened in the past in connection with the visa ban and airline administration. So something happened, and I think we should give the benefit of doubt to the system and let us be hopeful that it will work. That's my answer.
Okay, indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. George. And well, Kelvin, what do you think about that sort of assessment? That look, are we being too tight, too strict on ourselves? Is there room for a bit more positive thinking, so to speak, in spite of the challenges?
Well, to be honest with you, there are challenges. Look, I've said it severally that I'm cautiously optimistic because, like I said earlier, President Tinubu is a huge improvement on his predecessor. But it's also important that you point out issues, blind spots, when you see them, so that the team that the president has surrounded himself with can be aware that these are blind spots. Look, there are four major sources through which Nigeria gets affected. Mr. Mukhtar talked about it. We have crude oil receipts, NLNG, NNPC, independent revenues for government-owned enterprises. You have FDIs, FPIs that are lumped in as one, speculative, non-speculative. You have net export proceeds, and you have diaspora remittances. And you can see that since the devaluation or attempted unification, net export proceeds in the I&E window has gone up from somewhere around $468 million to $2.5 billion. It's an improvement. But you see, like I said earlier, this will begin to drop when the black market premium increases, which is the difference between the I&E window and the black market rates. So the challenge is to bring in FX into Nigeria. The short-term solution is to bring in capital FX into the capital accounts. The long-term solution is for the coordinating Minister of Petroleum, Gas, Resources to work towards developing Train 8 for NLNG to increase capacity. Train 7 will add 8 million metric tons and increase it to 30 million metric tons. You need Train 8, you need Train 9. The minister needs to clear the policy framework for condensates and associated gas offshore for NLNG, for floating natural LNG, FLNG. You need to increase the output of crude oil on a daily basis for exports from 1.67 million metric tons currently, which is a marginal improvement from what you had in May, to somewhere around 2 million or 2.2 million metric tons, so that you can increase the amount of FX revenues that goes into NNPC's account at JP Morgan that is managed by the CBN. When you have that, you begin to see inflow, and the market maker, the major market maker, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria, that provides a non-deliverable forwards for participants in the markets and provides liquidity for the primary bidders, will be able to supply the banks the needed liquidity that it needs to sort out everything from matured letters of credit to from A to capital and dividend remittances, which falls into these issues of the airlines and the $818 million that is yet to be repatriated. But you see, at the end of the day, the trip that they had to India was good. The stopover he had in Abu Dhabi was good. It's a positive sign. It's a sign that the president is listening to Nigerians. Nigerians have been complaining about the fact that the Nigerians were banned from entering the UAE, and former president didn't do anything about it. The fact that he has gone off to resolve the diplomatic impasse is a positive sign. It's a sign that he's a listening president. You need a leader that listens to his people, takes feedback, works on it. I am cautiously optimistic, but to be honest with you, I still think there are blind spots, especially as regards the way and manner at which monetary policy is being managed at the Central Bank of Nigeria, bank regulation is being managed, and also how NNPC is being managed. So, but overall, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mukhtar, going back to the India leg of the president's outing, the president had, urged his hosts that, look, let us know your requests. We are open for business. This is a new day. He had spoken about, no, there's no free breakfast anywhere, but at least it's a new day now. And big industries over there, steel, for instance. We have our own, Ajaokuta steel and all of these things that are commodities. Might one look at that and be hopeful that, look, if we can get those up and running through a mutually beneficial kind of arrangements, indeed, we might be looking a bit more up.
Like Ken said, President Tinubu is marketing Nigeria very well because he's the #1 marketing officer. We must give it to him. Yeah, I mean, he has hit the ground running.
Up and doing.
Up and doing with marketing the country. He seems to know what the problem is. He seems to listen and then try to see how can we address this problem. Remember is that he has even called the acting governor of CBN to a meeting when FS was going. He said, look, you need to fix this problem.
And that one made some very encouraging sounds.
He said within 2 weeks.
Yes,
now,
within 2 weeks.
We'll see the changes, we'll see this. We've not seen any change. Rather, he's still moving at the direction it was moving. So I think maybe when he comes back again, you need to have a meeting with him. So he has marketed us well. I mean, he has told them the potential. I mean, for 8 years, we didn't have a marketing officer. So you can't expect the kind. I keep saying is that you wanted to do a surgery 8 years ago, you didn't do it, and you do it after 8 years, and that you have increased in age. It won't be as easy if you have done it when you were 8 years less. So the challenge is we are in a deep, deep pit.
So, and you're sort of blaming part of this on the fact that for the 8 years of the previous administration, it wasn't as vibrant as it could have been.
It was in the G20. Did he go sell Nigeria the way President Tinubu is selling Nigeria? Rather, we ran to China, do the China currency swap deal. We never saw anything out of it. We kept borrowing. If he's traveling, he's trying to attract people to borrow us more money. But President Tinubu said, I don't want your money. I don't want you to borrow us money. Come and invest. So when you invest, you employ our people and you pay taxes to us. And we allow you to repatriate your money back.
That's the most important point.
Yeah.
We will allow you to repatriate.
He's saying it. He's talking about the Ajaokuta steel, which is fantastic. But there's a legal issue that has to do with the Ajaokuta steel, which I think if the president comes in, he needs to sit down with his team and look at how we can be able to solve this legal issue that has to do with the Ajaokuta steel complex. Because it has become like a challenge that President Obasanjo tried, Yaradua tried, Goodluck tried, Buhari tried. None seems to be working because that is the next gold mine for Nigeria. You could imagine if our steel sector is working. We won't be so much thinking about oil theft that is happening. Even if we want to deal with it, we still have something to fall back to. So I think he has done the right thing. And he reminds me of when President Obasanjo came to power in 1999. That's what he was doing. At that time, everybody was complaining. The president is not always sitting at home. The president is always traveling. The president is in this. But at that time, he said, we've been a pariah nation for over 20-something years. we need to announce to the world that we are back, you can do business with us. That is what President Tinubu is doing at the moment. Say, look, this is a new administration. Come, we can talk. I'm the marketing officer. I have my team. And you see,
and I'm heading that team.
I'm heading that team. When President Buhari was in power, when he's traveling, you see, I remember his first trip to the United States. He didn't have a cabinet. He was traveling with PAMSEC directors to go and hold a meeting with American businessmen. And at that time, when Barack Obama was coming to Kenya, the president of Kenya was inviting Dangote, Tony Olumelu, to come, while our own president was traveling with...
Well, that's a big difference with Tinubu.
Tinubu now, you see, the G20, Tony Olumelu was there.
Yeah, right.
He made a presentation to tell them that if you are not investing in Nigeria, you are losing.
You're losing out.